Guys, it is your boy Smurfyy back again with a video for the Convo King YouTube channel. Just doing a part 2 to the CDL Pro League. Sorry that this is kind of coming in late. I just work and among other things just has pushed this video back, so I'm kind of getting these out late before the games that start today, essentially when this video comes out. But hopefully you guys can still watch it before. But you know, we're gonna talk about pretty much. I don't know how many of them I'm going to get through in this video, or I'm going to do another part that will be released right after the part 2 as well. But we're going to go through the rest of the remaining teams between this video and the next video. If not, I'll do another intro for the next video. But we're going to cover probably 4 teams. So we're probably going to be doing here Faze, Royal Ravens, Guerillas, and Heretics if we have time. And then the next set we'll do the remaining teams. So you guys enjoy the video and see ya. Alright, so starting with the Atlanta Faze. So this team took 3rd last year at Worlds. I mean, this is the epitome of just a good roster and just one that's been good for years. I mean, this is going back to like Cold War or whatever, or Vanguard. And it's because they've won, and I'm a big proponent of this, and it's a common theme that you'll probably see in these team breakdowns, is team chemistry. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to Call of Duty, sometimes it's not. These are all so talented players, such talented players. Sometimes it comes down to who communicates the best together, who understands how each other plays, and how they're able to make that work. Which is why I think these guys work out. I mean, obviously, they're all individually great players, but like Selim's the best Slayer in the game. You could argue easily. Same with Senpi argues up there. They finished top 2, I think, top 5 in KDs. And then they added Draza from Thieves, who was also equally disgusting in KDs. So Abizi's really good too. I think he just kind of sacrifices his stats for the other 2 to kind of, you know, do their thing. Because usually you'll see that in teams. Someone kind of sacrifices, you know, does the dirty work for others, so the other teams can kind of focus on slaying. Ends up usually being mostly sub players that do that. AR players that do that, and Zelium can do it all, but besides the point. So they switched out Slasher for Draza instead. That was the only change that they made. So that's going to be a change that's going to obviously affect changes, but Draza's playing AR, so it shouldn't change too much. And honestly, this is a great move for them because ultimately I'm not a big fan of Slasher. I'm just not a big fan. I don't see it. I think, you know, he's had success though. I can't argue that. But I feel like he was holding this roster back, and they made the change. On the Flank podcast, they kind of went into detail about it. Like, they felt like he played great, but Draza's just better at what he does than Slasher does. So why not upgrade and hopefully beat these other 2 teams? You got a couple top teams that you're going to have to face. So any player matters now. So love the overall roster. They're probably going to finish high. I'll be surprised if they lose any games. So love this roster. Again, easy. That's really easy enough. I can't go any more detail because this is just a good roster. There's nothing else to talk about. They're going to be good. They're going to be good. But, alright, we're going to move on to the next video, and we'll see y'all there. What's up, guys? It is now the segment of the Royal Ravens. Even though, by the way, last audio I said next video. I meant the next segment, so we're going to be talking now about the Royal Ravens. So this was previously the London Ravens. The London Ravens had a better roster, I would say, overall. I mean, they didn't play well at all, though. But on a per-player basis, they were better. Like, Nasty, you know, he had 0 at one point. Scraps, big fans of those 2. Especially Nasty and Scraps. I think they're just really great players. Scraps went more towards Warzone, I think. But Nasty's still a free agent, so I kind of weird that they kind of didn't go with them. So they kind of went with, like, a younger roster with a veteran player like Clayster here, so it's a massive change. They also had ASIM at one point. Big ASIM fan too. I don't know how as good this team's gonna be. I have heard good. I watched a couple matches for GodRx and Gwyn. They look really good. I thought they played really well. GodRx will be a great AR, I think, for this game. Clayster's really good vet to shot call for the rest of his team and let them kind of do their thing, and he's gonna be the kind of the glue guy and the kind of motivator. So I love his role overall. And I think he was pretty solid last year. He struggled a bit, but he got better towards the end of the season. Especially at Worlds, I think he probably had one of his better events. I don't know about I think it's Real. I don't think it's Real. It might be Real. I can't remember if it's pronounced something different though. But I don't know much on him. But what you've kind of seen in a lot of these rosters is a influx of young talent. So a lot of it's kind of unknown because Challengers is a big jump from that to the pros. You wouldn't think so, but it is. There's always a learning curve to it, so I imagine they will struggle a bit early, but they might just come out and fry. So because there's a lot of changes on most teams, so this team can kind of be an unknown. Kind of comes down to from like the flank they were talking about Gwen being really good in GuardRX. GuardRX was previously in the league, but he didn't really impress. I forget what team he was on, but he didn't really impress when he was. But the scrims from like the scrims that they've been saying, and as well as like the matches from last COD, he's looked really good. So I think this will be a good roster, one to sleep on, not to sleep on. I kind of like the fact that they're going with younger talent. Kind of gives you reminiscence of like MLB in their like minor league system with them bringing players up. So really excited overall for this roster. So now we'll be talking about my favorite team, but also a brutal one, LA Guerillas. So I will see you in a second. What is up, guys? Now we are going into my favorite team. And that is the LA Guerillas. So we're not going to have a picture for this team because this was such a last minute roster put up for them. So they don't actually have them on the official league site. They do have the roster though on like on their Instagram and stuff like that. So it's just on par with the organization as a whole. But so let's kind of get into it. They basically did probably one of the more drastic team changes out of any of the CDL teams this year, which says a lot because some of them they really blew up their rosters. My biggest pet peeve is though again just changing everything and not trying to keep chemistry cohesion. They kind of did here with their roster, so we'll get into that here in a minute. But again, it's just like Optic does this, and I'll talk about more of the Optics video segment. If it probably won't be on this video, but the next part if I have to. But basically, it's like you need team chemistry, and then when you blow up your roster after every major, you're just not gonna have sustained success because you have to relearn. You bring in new pieces, you have to relearn how that player plays, the meta switches potentially. Like it just doesn't go well for most teams. I can tell you right now, you need to be patient with some rosters. To Optics' credit, they had most part been like that until last year. They just made multiple big changes, and it just didn't go well. Why am I talking about that? This is not even an Optics segment. So Guerillas, they opted with a new roster of Assault, Estriel, DiamondCon, and Fame. So Fame and Estriel were teammates on Challengers. They were really good players. Fame, I think at one point was in the CWL or something. He was okay. Like he didn't stand out to me. I like DiamondCon a lot. He was really good. I think it was MW1. He was really dominant. I think it was like technically his rookie year. But he's been killing it in their LEG Academy. And he played with Assault. So those are the two main ARs. So I think I like how they've done it to where you have two ARs that play together and two subs, since they kind of have to work in tandem. Even the Flank podcast did not know what to think of Estriel, so it's kind of like he's an unknown. He could potentially be a really good player, they said, so I have to take their word for it. Personally, I would have not gone with Assault. I already saw him last time. He's a consistent piece. He doesn't go off though. He doesn't have that ability to really take over a game, but he can also have really bad games. But he does have, for the most part, he can be a steady piece. I would have rather maybe Temp, who's available. There's Temp's available. TJ Haley's available as well. You also have what I'm forgetting. ASIM is available as well. So there's just a lot of players that I feel like that they kind of passed up on that they could have taken. But obviously, there's reasons for everything. It could be contract basis because Temp's a high quality player. But we'll have to see how this roster works out eventually. I just don't have much to say is positive for it, but I'm still looking forward to it. It's an exciting roster. I'm a big DiamondCon fan. So hopefully they can kind of pan out and be good, because that's my team. So I need them to be good mentally, physically. All right, guys. This is the last one for part 2, I believe. I'll get this chopped up and edited if I have time on the gameplay. I'll probably just add on to it. But I'll probably split up anyway because don't want the video to go too long. So we're finishing up this video with Miami Heretics. This one's going to be probably short and sweet because it's just 100% unknown. So this kind of happened because of the whole Heretics is like a brand that's you've probably seen, for like other games, like a lot. I think they have a league, Valorant, all that good stuff. Big in Latin America. And then this was previously the Mutineers, which was Vic Vol's team. They were also a team. Major Maniac was on that team. Brack. They just were never really good. Vic Vol was always a solid player. I felt like they retained him for a reason. Now you're gonna see there's 5 people on there. So that actually apparently I found out from the Flank podcast. Can't recommend enough. Really good one if you guys want to kind of get into Call of Duty esports. I might see about getting a link